The other evening, when I listened to the television regarding cannabis oil, which was healing young children with epilepsy, and that there is a chance that it may also heal MS and mental health patients even, I was delighted to know that this medicine, because it is a plant and not chemical, that it can heal these children instead of the tablets they are taking. At a very young age they're being given these tablets which don't seem to help them at all. So why isn't this cannabis oil being prescribed now to people with epilepsy, etc.? I was given a tablet in 1994 called thiauridazine, and in the year 2000 I had been taking it for 6 years. I never thought this tablet was doing me any good or any harm. I never complained about it. But a month after I was prescribed that tablet for depression, I took a heart attack in a friend's home, and she called the doctor, and the doctor sent me to Calderdale Hospital in Halifax. I was there for 7 days and diagnosed with angina, ischemic heart disease, infarction, and I attended outpatients departments for quite some time. I have all the records of it. I was still taking this tablet, thiauridazine, a small dose, 25 milligrams, but in the year 2000, it seems that the experts at the Home Office, and I presume the drug company as well, found that it could cause sudden death. And they took a risk in keeping it on because they felt it helped some patients, I believe mental health patients. And so they kept it on for another 5 years. When I felt I was dying at that time. I looked awful, terrible. My family thought I was dying as well. And I blamed the heart troubles I had. And I was called to the doctor's surgery in 2005 and told to stop this tablet because it had bad side issues. They didn't tell me what side issues was bad. It wasn't until I was campaigning with Norman Baker to stop legal highs that I wrote to Norman about this tablet being stopped because it had bad side issues, and therefore medication wasn't all that clever either. And it seemed that Norman sent my letter to the Scottish Parliament because it's a different, both England and Scotland both look after their own NHS. And Norman quite rightly sent that letter to the Scottish Parliament to look into. And I had a phone call from someone at the Scottish Parliament telling me that a minister would contact me to talk about thiauridazine. And this minister did write to me and told me that the experts at the Home Office decided to take a risk with this tablet, and that is what they did. eventually in 2005 they had to stop it because probably it was killing too many people. And I stopped it, and I gradually came back to normal. After a locum gave me a tablet for a short spell, 3 weeks. I stopped it after 3 weeks, but it took away the bad withdrawals I was having. And that tablet was not told, the patient, I was never told that it could cause sudden death. It seemed they never told the patients and gave them a chance to stop taking it if it was causing sudden death. And anyway, they kept it on even in 2005 to be given to patients who they felt was getting some kind of help from it. And it had to be supervised when given. How can you supervise a tablet inside somebody's stomach? But anyway, that is what they did. And it seemed that the tablet was carried on. Why would experts keep a tablet on that was killing some people? If it killed one person, it should have been banned. It should have been taken off. That is my opinion. But now that here we have a medication coming from a plant called cannabis oil, which seems to be healing children with epilepsy, and therefore may be able to help people with MS and arthritis, etc. And this tablet, I believe, should be put on the market as soon as possible. Epilepsy is a very serious illness. My young sister used to go as stiff as a board many times a day, and it was terrible to watch her. So please, give the people a break that are suffering from these illnesses and get the tablet, the oil, on the market as soon as possible. It hasn't any bad things attached to it, it seems. There is the full cannabis resin doesn't need to be legalized. But this cannabis oil, which doesn't give out any addictions, etc., should now, this very moment, be prescribed to people it may help. It has already proved that it helps children with epilepsy. So how can you not get it on the market? It will be a cheap medication to make, because the plant is grown here in Britain. And as far as I heard on television, it is sold to America or given to America, whatever. But it is time it was given here to our children and others, maybe elders as well, with OCD, schizophrenia, etc. So let's see this wonderful plant being given to those who may get better from it. Thank you for listening, and God bless.